What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Lucas Live. We have special guest Mike Sturdivant in the building today. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure if you're tuning in live or by replay, you stay right here. Mike is a connector, community builder, founder and owner of Rock Island Specialist and Start Flavor and a lot of great things. If you don't know Mike Sturdivant, you need to know Mike Sturdivant because everybody else knows Mike Sturdivant here in the city. So you might have heard his name and you're like, I don't really know him, right? Well, today you get to know him and then you get to reach out to him and be like, I saw you on Lucas Live. We're friends now. He'll be like, no problem. He'll have coffee with you. Buy him a coffee though. You know what I mean? Like, he's always at the coffee shop. He supports everybody. And we're going to support him today. We're also going to talk about a couple local events coming up. I want to give you guys a little bit of news to kick the show off, maybe something we start to do. Whether you're watching us on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever you're coming to us from, we thank you for being here. Whether you're able to watch and engage, which I appreciate when you can make comments, or you're listening to this like a podcast, all good, right? You might be getting ready for work. You might be on your lunch break and you're watching a replay, whatever it is. Just hang out and listen and learn something new today. Also, if you're watching by replay, type replay in the comments so we know that you are here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you guys again for checking out the previous episodes we've had this week. We've had great guests. We are on our third day in a row. I'm not going to be here every single day of life. This is not the Today Show, but I mean, maybe one day. But I've had great guests already. Starting next week, we'll do 3 days a week. Our days next week are going to be a little different. We're going to do Monday, Thursday, Friday. After that, we're going to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right? As my mom would say, Lord willing, right? Which means hopefully everything works out good, right? It makes that happen. I'm going to also share this broadcast. If you're watching live or by replay, make sure you share the broadcast, so people know you're watching, you're listening, you're learning, you're in here, which will bring them in. So let me share this broadcast now to my regular Facebook. I'm on my Lucas Live media page. And you may be watching us from anywhere around the city or around the world. And we want to thank you guys for that. Couple things. I hope you guys have been hearing my little theme song here playing because I love it. Hope you guys like it. So make sure you guys, lean in, listen in. I'm playing a little quieter. Yesterday, I realized I opened the show with it blaring and, I turned it down a little bit. Okay. But yesterday I had Reverend Dr. Arrington in the building. It was absolutely incredible. He has a special event coming up. I want to make sure we shout out. His pastoral anniversary, 40th pastoral anniversary is coming up in May. And People's Baptist Church is absolutely unbelievable to me to think that somebody has been the pastor of the same church for 40 years. That's Jesus wasn't even alive for 40 years. Y'all realize that? That's a long time to be pastor of the church, all right? So he has a banquet. Today is the last day to buy tickets to the banquet. The banquet is Thursday, April 30th at 6 p.m. at the Doubletree and downtown. And so you guys, today is the last day. Right now, if you're considering, take a screenshot. I'm going to freeze so you can take a screenshot of me. All right, good. Take a screenshot of that. And you can just press the QR code once you have the picture in your phone, and it'll take you to the link so you can buy your ticket, okay? Or if you're watching this on a different device other than your phone, which is usually the dilemma, you can scan that QR code and check that out that way. All right. So Dr. Arrington, shout out to him again. Thank him so much for being a great guest. If you missed yesterday's show, you can still go back and watch that replay. Facebook now, and I don't know if Mike knew this. We'll talk about this on the show. Once upon a time, Facebook would keep your live broadcasts on your site, on your page forever. Back in 2020, when I started this, my shows were on there forever. And then they made some announcement like your lives only stay on for 30 days. What, you running out of server space, Meta? Is that what's going on? I don't know, but they don't keep your stuff on. YouTube does, though. So this will remain on YouTube, and we'll be here on Facebook for 30 days, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you guys check that out. Other announcements I want to make. Centennial Plaza has some great things coming. Shout out to the city of Canton, to the team that works Centennial Plaza and the events at the Civic Center, doing some wonderful things. There's a great concert series going on here. I don't know if you guys have seen this flyer. Whiskey Loco will be here. Chris Higby, Red Wanting Blues. I don't know all these groups, but I'm going to be here because I'm right here. You know what I mean? Brownstone's going to be here. I know Brownstone from the 90s, the 90s R&B group. Parmali, I think they're very popular, so I don't want to say any names wrong because people are going to be like, how do you not know them? New Wave Nation and Wish Garden are going to be here this summer. There's over 80 events, though, going on down at Centennial Plaza. Make sure you guys check them out and follow them on social media so you guys know what's going on down here. All right, let's see what else we got going on. Oh, health symposium tomorrow. Strong Family Wellness, along with the Qs, are holding a health symposium in honor of, it's the Devin Moore Health Symposium. Devin Moore was a Q and had a heart condition, and now in honor of his life, they've been holding a health symposium tomorrow, 6 to 8 p.m. That will be at the DoubleTree. You guys can come to that. And we will also be streaming it live here on Lucas Live Media. I have the honor of moderating that conversation, so I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be a lot of fun. So you guys make sure you guys tune in tomorrow night, 6 to 8 p.m. We're having a health symposium. You guys see these great doctors are going to be on this panel. They're going to be sharing some great information about living healthy lives, the things that people are facing today. So many great things we're going to be talking about. There's cardiologists who are going to be there, other doctors, nurse practitioners, others who are going to be in the building. So you guys make sure you guys check that out. All right. Conversations on the heart and heart health and wellness tomorrow at the DoubleTree, the Devin Moore Health Symposium, ladies and gentlemen. You guys make sure you guys check that out. All right. Is that every? And then tomorrow, my guest. I got to shout out my guest tomorrow. The one and only, your host, Danielle Williams. You see how I made her background a little transparent there? She's like ghostly. She's like transparent. It's like angelic, right? So Danny will be here tomorrow morning. Can't wait to interview her. She's my co-host on Chatting Live, and she hosts things around the city. And Danny, but when you're hosting things, you don't often get to get interviewed. Nobody ever asks you any questions. You're like, I got things to say. And so you're like throwing them in there in between other people's comments, right? You don't get a chance to just be interviewed. So I'm excited to bring Danny in and Danny on. She's the owner of the True Body Company. We're going to talk about that and her entrepreneurial journey. I've known Danny for over 10 years and have just continued to see her grow. And I'm just so excited to be able to let her share her story and her growth and the things that she's done and the things that she's doing. So she will be on tomorrow. Don't miss it. Your host, Danielle, she is the COO here at Lucas Live Media. So I'm excited to have her on tomorrow. All right, so those were some quick announcements. You guys, now I want to bring on our guest. Mike and I have been friends for many, many years. And when we talked about our conversation today, it was like, well, what are you guys going to talk about? And what we're going to do is the theme of Lucas Live this season is let's hang out, let's cook out, let's talk live. Like, let's just sit at the barbecue and have a conversation. Let's just sit in the backyard. Let's just talk and let's have conversations. So I'm looking forward to that with him today. I'm looking forward to that with other guests that we're going to have come on who can just have conversations and talk about things. While there will be things you will learn and things we will bring to the table. We also want to talk to you. So feel free to leave comments, ask questions, say hello in the chat. We appreciate it. And now I want to bring to the stage my good friend, Mr. Mike Sturdivant. Mike, let me make sure your mic is on. Mike,
hello,
with the
hello.
mic on. How are you today?
Mic check. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. Excited to be here with you. I love when you reached out last week and asked if I wanted to come on. I was super excited.
I appreciate your excitement because, I haven't done Lucas Live. I mean, I do Lucas Live various times throughout the year. I pop back up with it because I get this itch. And this is the time of year when I started it. I started it April. I think it was April 10th. That's always a date in my mind, but it was sometime early April 2020. And I had no idea what I was doing. And like many entrepreneurial endeavors, we don't necessarily know what we're getting ourselves into. We're just doing things.
Well, we all were trying stuff out because we had nothing better to do during that time.
You remember those days? You remember?
It blows my mind that was 6 years ago.
Isn't that crazy?
It does not seem like 6 years ago. I don't want to go back to it, but it does not seem like 6 years ago. But we met shortly after that.
Yes.
Because I kept seeing you pop up on my stuff. And I was like, who is this guy? And then I think we had talked, but we weren't allowed to meet because, it wasn't legal.
We had to keep our distance.
Yeah, when things opened back up, we met. And so I was like, this guy looks so familiar. It turns out I think we went to high school together.
Yes.
He's a little older than me. I'm just going to put that out there. I was like,
don't let him
back then, but
don't let it back like it's a lie. It's a little bit. I don't know.
And I was so stunned when you were like, I was like, man, you do such a great job. And you're like, oh, thanks. I just started. And I was like, what do you mean you just started? I was like, how?
It's motion sensor.
That's all right. I'm used to it.
Okay, you've been in this
I used to be in this building.
Yeah,
so I'd be on Zoom calls and the lights would go out. It's okay.
Right. I know, right? I'm like, they're going gonna fix this for me.
I forgot about that. I clicked. I'm like, that tracks. I remember that.
Okay, that's coming back.
I remember those days now.
I want to shout out Stark County Minority Business Association for having this great space, and I want to call on them to get down here and get these lights together. You know, I've already talked to them. I'm like,
no pressure.
I was like, no pressure.
No
like,
pressure.
I'm just gonna talk about it
We're
every
looking
day.
at you. No pressure. Hard camera.
I'm gonna bring it up every day until we get this together because
we're
like,
staring at the hard camera.
I know, pressure. Right? People are like, oh, I don't know if I was like talking to one guy. I'm like, I could do it. Like I think it's a conduit, it's a wire. A motion sensor is a light switch that flicks on by motion. You run a wire, you run it down the wall. We're gonna make it happen. Okay, I believe that. So you said, okay, you were surprised that I had just gotten started with.
Yeah, because you were such a natural at it, you know, and like your
that.
videos were so good, and I was blown away. And you were like, I have been doing it for like 4 months, and I was like, what? What do you do? Because it takes a long time to get used to being on camera and doing things, and you definitely have found obviously what your thing is, like, right? We all have something that you do, like, you know, your gift or your whatever you call it, not to get too technical with it, but you found yours, and it just seemed like it came so natural. And to see, you know, we had that conversation in like 2021, and then now where you're at, it's just awesome to see your growth and all the things you're doing, and how, I mean, you've leaped into it, you know, you've gone full time into it, and you're just building it and you're hustling it. And it's great to watch. It's great to watch. I know we catch up when we can. We say we're getting together like weekly, and then we see each other every 3 months because we're both crazy. But I do watch, and I've loved watching how far you've come and what you've put together, because it's amazing to see.
Mike, I really appreciate it. And one thing I often realize is like, I'm not fully conscious of other people's perception of me.
Yeah.
And I think when you have a gift, it's kind of odd. It's like, it's like almost hard to take credit for because it was a gift.
Yeah.
It wasn't something, and not that I don't work at it, right? Not that I'm not conscious of
yeah. And whatever your gift is, it's just the door that opens, right?
Yeah.
And so you have to craft it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, everybody's always, you hear people talk, and people are like, man, if I could just get that opportunity. It's like, well, an opportunity is not going to be a job that just falls down. It could be, but most time an opportunity is just a door that cracks. You got to kick that door down and hustle and grind and work nonstop at it. And listen, if you explore, you find what you're gifted, and it could be anything, right? Like I think you're a big Steve Harvey fan, right? I watch a lot of Steve Harvey motivations, and he talks about this a lot about, you know, he has a friend that just mowed lawns and now has a multi-million-dollar lawn mowing business. And one of my favorite people of all time, she's not here anymore, which kills me, but Little Chunk of Goodness, she was in North Canton. Christy Williams, she's in Buffalo now.
Okay. You said she's not with us anymore. I was like,
no. She's alive.
No,
She's alive. She just moved. Christy, if you see this, I'm glad you're still kicking.
He said Christy's not with us anymore.
I said that very wrong.
She's gone on.
So guys, it's 8:15 in the morning. I'll start before 9 normally, so bear with me.
They're like, this is early for Mike. What is Mike doing?
I'm more of a work later person than early person, but she is very with us in terms of being alive. She just moved out of Stark County. So
and you were saying about her though.
Sorry, after I tried to offer on camera. But she just made, like, during that same 2020 time, super awesome, back when like the crazy cookies were happening, where they'd make them look like Elmo or whatever, and then launched a full cookie business. But she was so good at like baking, decorating cookies, and was so good on social media, and launched her social media and built a whole thing out of cookies, right? I can't make break or bake cookies, like the ones where you just pop them off and I burn them every time. Like, it's not my skill. I can't bake.
Listen, that sounds like something. I think you're dating yourself. Do they still make those?
I don't know, but I don't know, because I haven't tried it in so long. But
you're definitely dating yourself.
She found is that what they were called? Making breaks or whatever? They were like the little Nestle ones. They came in like the little, and you just broke them and baked them.
I think
is that not a thing anymore?
Maybe. I don't know.
That's got to be.
No, I think they are. I think that's gonna have to look it up.
I'm not that old.
No, we're gonna let me look it up.
I'm not a young professional anymore. But I know I'm not that old yet.
Doesn't that suck when they kick you out of that?
But she just found what that gift was, right? And she went all into it and made it a thing. And it's like, man, but I think, like you said, you have to craft your passion.
Yes.
Right. And it's consistent work. But if you can find the thing that you love and you're passionate about, that's what gets you through those long days, right? Because I don't want to sound like the tactical, like, oh, find what you love and you don't work it in your life. But it's true, right? Like, if you're chasing what your true passion is, and what your true love is, that's what's going to get you through those long days, those long hours, those working weekends, those nonstop hustling things. If you're trying to cram into something that's not yours, like I think everybody sees somebody doing something like, well, I want to do that. Well, that's not what your thing is, right? Like you have to find what your thing is. And when you do, you can't force it, right? Because you will fail miserably because you're not going to have that passion behind it. So, you know, your thing is this, the live video and the interviewing. And, you know, we've brought you, I'm sure we're going to talk about Canton Prom, but we've worked together on that where I tried that for 2 years and we brought you on. And my thing, which is weird because I never thought I'd be good at it and when I hate it, but getting into networking and community and connecting, like
so good at it.
But it's something that when I first started, I was like, I hate this. Like, you know, my background. Well, so it's crazy. This, what seems like a lifetime ago, but my original career was, I was a retail manager for 10 years. And that seems like a lifetime ago at this point. It was in my 20s, but I did it from 21 to 31 at different places. I guess I can claim I'm a college dropout now. I said I was going to take like a semester or 2 off school, but I graduated high school in 01,
which was a year after me, ladies and gentlemen, just in case he tries to act
like I just realized
way different in age.
I know. I tried to push that earlier. I was hoping you didn't catch that.
Right.
I just realized that's going to be 25 years this year.
I just did my 25 last year. We had a reunion.
I don't like that.
And I went and saw people.
That makes me feel some kind of way. Just dawned on me
this is your 25th anniversary year, buddy.
I don't like that. So anyway.
Buckle up.
Wow. Yeah, I guess so. Buckle up, Buttercup.
Years.
So I got off track. We were talking about, college. Like, you know, I went to college for like 2 years and I was like, you know, I'm going to I'll just do this for like a couple months, find a full-time job till I figure out what I want to do. And then I was just there for 10 years and I liked it though, you know, something different every day. I liked the challenge. I really took, you know, if a company trusted you to run a store for them and do that, like I really took that, you know, seriously. And then I went into what really changed my career is
And what store were you running?
So I started at Finish Line, which is very convenient since I, you know, love shoes.
You love shoes, yes.
I don't know if
you're a Finish Line guy.
Yeah. So it was Canton Center Mall.
Okay. Are you serious?
Yeah.
It was called Canton Center Mall then. Like you were at
the Finish Line in Canton Center Mall. It was 2004.
2004, there was still a Canton Center Mall. I don't remember.
Yeah.
When did it die, like 06 or something?
It was like there was us. There was a Foot Locker.
JCPenney.
There's JCPenney. That's still holding it down there. There was some airbrushing stores. There was some jewelry stores.
Still there. I forgot.
Yeah, there was a Claire's. There wasn't much in there.
Piercing Pagoda.
Yeah, like the food court had like one place in it. There was like a We're Rolling Pretzel Company and maybe another thing. There wasn't much going on.
Anybody remember Canton Center Mall? Tell us your favorite Canton Center store.
I was not working there in the heyday, but I was there toward the end of it.
Me too. I used to call Canton Center real quick. Me and my friends would go to Canton Center Mall. We were 16, 17, 18. Go to Canton Center Mall because it was like dying. And so this is late 90s, right?
Yeah.
98, 99, 2000. And I said, we got to go to the practice mall. You got to get your walk together, make sure your clothes look good, talk to some girls a little bit, you know, practice. And then we're going to go to Belden Village, the real mall. And then, true story.
Canton Center Mall was the G League.
It was the G League. I was like, man, we got to get our nerve up. We can talk to girls here. It's Canton Center.
You were trying to get caught up to Belden Village. And,
I was like, man, we got to get our walks together, our steps. I promise you.
The greatest thing of all time.
Cool. Try to connect your guys with some girls you practice. And he like,
Canton Center Mall was the training ground for the big time.
Later that day, it was the same day. We did it every Saturday, like the practice mall. Oh, you go to Canton Center looking like anything. You get your outfit there, and then you go to the real mall. Anyway,
I have such a new appreciation for you in Canton Center Mall now, man. You really put a lot of thought into that one back in the day.
18 years old. Yes, I had my 1990 Mercury Topaz. It was a very fancy car I was pushing, and
had my first car was a 90 Grand Am.
Okay, yes.
Yep. The old style one, not the cool one that looked like the Batmobile. That was popular for a while. I had the old crappy one.
Okay.
So this shows how old I am, man. I still had the car that you had a key for the door and a different key for the ignition, and you had to roll the window down. Like, kids don't know the struggle we went through back in the day.
Rolling the windows
down. You were hot, man. It was an exercise.
It was going to take a while.
You hope that thing rolled back up.
You're in trouble. Are you back there rolling the window down? Are you back there trying to get some air in the back seat?
Yep.
You guys
two different car keys.
Yes.
You had to remember to take the faceplate off your CD player, or somebody was going to break in and steal that. And they're breaking in regardless, but you just had to hope they didn't steal the CD player.
They're breaking in
Yeah,
regardless. They're taking all your change.
You had to carry it with you everywhere you were at, that big faceplate. Like, people don't know what we went through back in the early 2000s, the Pop 2K days.
Listen, and I felt like I was cool. I felt like it was kind of a cool thing to have.
We all thought we were cool. We were not.
When you took the faceplate off and you had that little thing in your hand and you walk around with that little black case, I was like, oh, I'm cool because I got my CD player from my car in my hand at this event.
Not stealing my CD player today, guys. I got it with me in my pocket.
Meanwhile, the whole main part is still in there that they could take. All we took off was the face.
Exactly. It didn't work without the face, though.
But they could just get another face.
That was the life hack.
That was the life hack.
I think at least twice my car's broken into at Canton Center, but thankfully I had the faceplate in with me, so that was a thing back in the day. Yeah, I was good. Safe. Yeah, they never got my stuff. Lucas never got my stuff.
They never got you. They never got you.
If you're watching the show,
right? Hey, we want to say hello to a few people. Aunt Gloria is always supporting. Thank you so much for being here. And Todd Moser, you know this guy.
Todd, yes.
He one of the people. I saw somebody comment and said, "This is
early for you." He called me out on the fact that I don't like starting very early my days. So, but Todd knows me well. He's an early riser. Todd's a great guy. Actually, we talked about coffee shops, and Todd is a contracted, self-employed graphic designer.
Okay.
And fantastic at his job.
I like to know people like
went
that.
on our own around the same time, like right after, I'm not going to say the word, but 2020. And I always tell people, you meet the best people at coffee shops, So Todd would work at Carpe Diem sometimes, and you just see the same person. They're like, hey, what do you do? And you say small talk. And back in the day, we used to have a big group on Friday mornings that people have gotten all the way job-wise. I
popped in a time or two.
Yeah. We used to have a big group pre-2020, man. We had like a little network group that would get together on Friday mornings before we had to go back to work when we had real jobs and things. And we just somehow, Todd got sucked into our group, and he's been stuck with me ever since. And but he's a great dude, one of the great people that I've met at coffee shops, and hard worker, great person, one of the true gems of our community. And we actually work together now on a Power NIL company that I was gracious that Todd brought me into, that he worked with, and that now we're on the same team there helping.
We have to get into that.
We do. We have to dive into this stuff a little bit. Because we got off track with Canton Center Mall and CD players, but
that's how I want it to be. This is how this show is supposed to be.
We talked pre-show because Lucas and I were like, we're going to get together, we're going to talk business. And then we talked for 2 hours about nonsense. And so we're like, we're going to stay on track. And then here we are 20 minutes in, and we have not been on track one time.
This is how we are.
That's how we are. That's why we get along so well.
We're leaving the coffee shop after a meeting, and we're like, all right, so we're going to do are we going to do make sure you email me the thing, like whatever business we're supposed to have.
So we'll get it right eventually.
We usually land
someday. We'll figure it out.
Someday we'll figure it out. So shout out to Todd. I love that.
Shout out to you, Todd. I'll see you here in a little bit. We're going to be we hang out on Wednesdays and Fridays together and work together at different places. So.
Okay. We're definitely going to have to come back to that conversation, because I want to hear about what else you have going on. You're doing some new things, and I mean, we can jump around. We'll get back. You started with talking to us a little bit about you started in retail.
Yeah.
But then you went on to do your own thing. Talk to us about, like, was that a 2020 thing, or like when did you start to make that transition, and how did that go?
It's funny. So I've always had a drive to want to do my own business. And back then I thought it was going to be a retail store. I'm really glad
like
that
your own shoe store, your own.
Yeah. I'm really glad that didn't happen.
That's a
we were close though. Like, so
do you ever think about getting into live shopping online?
No.
Okay.
No. My retail days are behind me, man.
Okay,
I still have PTSD from some of that stuff.
All right. I'm looking for somebody who wants to get serious about live shopping, because we got the space. We can make it happen. It's a huge, thriving thing.
Oh, it is, like whatnot and things like that. Yeah, it's a great thing. Maybe we could talk about it.
Huge. So it's like somebody needs enough, and it's fast.
Yeah.
But if you're like shoes, you need enough knowledge. You have enough to
know
talk
what you're
about
talking
it
about
quick,
doing.
to sell it quick, and then bring other pieces on. But it's huge. Anyway, so you thought you were going to do that. You decided not to. You're glad you didn't.
Yeah. And so I ended up, when I hit the burnout wall on retail, and I was like, I can't do this the next 30 years of my life. And it's a tough job. When you're in your 20s, you're like, man, this is great, it's fun. But then, you don't leave your store. You live there. There's no weekends. There's no holidays. There's no, it's a grind. And
right.
I hit the mental burnout wall. It wasn't even the physical burnout, it was the mental. And I was 31 time I was going on job interviews for anything, because I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life, right? I learned now at 42, you think about those like late 20s, you're like, I should have my stuff together. I don't. Nobody has their stuff together in their late 20s. So now it's funny to see like younger professionals who are in the age range starting to think about that, and the friggin' like, you're right where you need to be. As long as you're thinking about it. But when you're going through it, you're in the right spot.
Right.
So I went to a company called Hattie Larlam,
Mm-hmm.
which it didn't just change my life. It changed my career. It changed my life. It didn't change my career. It changed my life. And it was Hattie Larlam was a company that worked with people with intellectual disabilities. And I went to work in their vocational training.
Mm-hmm.
So they had set up some different, like some different cafes, some different coffee shops, doggy daycares, where they would hire high functioning adults with intellectual disabilities and train them for jobs. Kind of like Goodwill with retail stores. That's kind of what people think about.
Got it.
They didn't do the retail store thing, but they did a bunch of other things. And they opened a lot of these locations at the time and had basically people trained for development disabilities running them.
Right.
And a lot of them were kind of in the negative. They weren't running well. So they decided like, we need somebody that kind of understands like retailer running a business come in. So they created my job, which was like, it was a regional manager, but it was kind of like a district manager.
How did you even get to these people though? How did they even know who you were?
It was just one of those things where, I mean, I look at it as one of those things that was meant to be, because they had this job open forever and they were trying to figure out the right fit for it. Obviously I had to take a pay cut to go there, because you're going from a large company, to a nonprofit, and a program that was in the negative. And I was just looking for something and didn't know what I wanted to do. And I remember they called and it was like, they're like, oh, we're this doggy daycare. And I was like, what is that? And they're like, you bring their dogs for daycare. I'm like, no, they don't.
I know, right?
And they're like, yeah, they do. And I got there and they didn't. It's not the sales, but when I went through the interview process, I learned about the job training program and that it was so much more.
Wait. Is there a doggy daycare? What are we talking about?
Not anymore.
There was.
Yeah,
we
had it running well, but they've since closed. The company shifted a lot over the years.
So there was a doggy daycare.
There was 3 of them. Yeah, there was one by the Akron Canton Airport. There was one by the Cleveland.
Is this Airport. Like you're going on vacation, or this is like I'm going to work?
Yeah, no, both. Like if you're going on vacation, you could drop your dog.
I understand that you need days.
We literally had doggy daycare where you could bring your dog during the day. Like so your dog wasn't alone and pent up, they come home, they're tired. It was definitely this was definitely a premium business for those people. But
you're right.
Yeah, we were open 365 days a year. There were 3 locations I was over. Each location had a manager that ran it, but we trained people with intellectual disabilities. So all of our employees had Down syndrome, autism, something like that. And we were giving them work skills. And then we had another department that could help them find community employment jobs. So our goal was to take somebody with high functioning intellectual disability, get them prepped. Like, hey, you have to show up to work. You have to clock in. You have to wear an outfit. Like it was a safe place for them to make mistakes, but then learn skills.
I love that.
To get independent. Like they'd have job goals they'd have to work on that we'd work with. And obviously they have a team with like the Stark Board of DD or the Cog Board of DD and things like that. And then when they kind of graduated our program, they were ready to go into community. They obviously stayed with us till they got that. But then we had supports that would help them get a job at Giant Eagle, get a job at Mark's, whatever it is. So we would teach a lot of soft skills, right? Because there's obviously not a lot of doggy daycare jobs in the community. But when they kind of went through the back end, the cleaning, all that, we could teach them front desk work. We could teach them how to answer the phone. We could teach them how to file, how to do computer work, and prep them for future things. So a big part of my job was making sure that program ran well, but it was to increase the sales and try to get it at least. I mean, obviously a nonprofit doesn't have to be super profitable, but it can't be super in the negative. So the way to do that was me being the person to get in the community and go to chambers and get on boards. And that was part of the draw for me, for taking that job and taking the pay cut. I took a time, like, I'll take a step back for a year or two. It took me like 10 years to get back to that where I was before.
That step back lasted a while.
But that is the thing that got me to say, hey, like, you need to be active in the community. And it was just like, I showed up to a Canton Chamber event in like 20.
And how old were you at this time?
16, 32, 31, 32.
Yeah.
This would have been probably 20. I think the first year, like I spent my first year, like I started in October 2014. My first year was just fixing our stuff because our program was in such rough shape from an operations standpoint.
Right.
We could have brought customers and they wouldn't have stayed. So it was like getting our staff in place, getting the managers trained, like how to do budgets, getting our budget right. And then it was go out and attract customers.
Now, quickly, you had those skills or you were developing those? Like, how did you know how to do
from retail?
Okay.
You're running retail stores and you learn. Now in retail, we probably weren't well, not probably, we weren't really in charge of like marketing the company and things, but we ran that store inside and out.
Right.
Right. So you ran budgets, you ran operations, you did sales, you developed
Got
team
it.
members, you were always hiring.
Yes.
You know, in retail, I learned a lot of skills for, you know, like it's that thing where it's like nobody like grows up being like, man, I want to be a retail store manager. But I'm so thankful for that time because
Yeah.
I still use so many of those skills today.
That's
Right.
awesome.
And you know, we talk about your gift and your journey. Like when you, I guess, age comes wisdom, maybe.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
look back. I feel like you learn as you get older that like your journey is like a story. It's no different than if you watch a TV show,
Yeah.
right? Or a movie. Like you watch those characters develop from like season 1 to season 6, right?
Right.
Your journey is a lot the same way. And as you get older, you realize how much like your chapters
Yeah.
overlap, right?
Yeah.
Like I really do believe, you know, we talk about finding your gift, but I really do believe that everything in your life happens for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
If you can put the pieces together. It's like up to you to put the pieces together. That's where people struggle. They don't put the pieces together.
Statement.
But I
Because
can
stuff
look
can just be
back.
happening in life.
Yeah,
And you could
right,
just feel like you're just
right.
getting hit by the
You-
bus
You
over
have
and
to
over.
stop. And trust me,
It's like Groundhog Day. You got to wake up
start
and
a
do something
business.
different.
You feel like you're getting hit by a bus over and
Every
over.
day.
But this is where it talks about like you have to be leaning into your passion.
Yes.
Because there's
If you're
all these
not-
things coming at you and there's all these things falling apart, going back
Yeah.
together. If you can find ways to put the pieces together, and a lot of it is just trial and error, right? People
Yeah.
are so afraid to fail.
You're right.
And it's like, man, failure is the only way that you're going to figure your life out, right?
Yeah.
Like people are so afraid to start things or bet on themselves or take a jump because like, what if I fail?
Yeah.
Well, what if you fail? Who cares?
Who
Like
cares?
what's going to happen? Do you die?
It's,
Right?
it's very,
Do you-
even Mario had
Do you
multiple
get
lives. What are you
banished?
talking about,
Like,
right?
like, you know, like
What happens?
that's how you learn,
And
right?
nobody remembers. Here's one thing I've learned over the years is that as much as we think
People remember
are,
your wins.
yes, they're not paying that much attention. And in the moment, you may be going through a difficult time, a failure, loss of business, divorce, any number of things that people go through. And in the moment, people are like, "Oh my God, they're going through a thing," and they're leaning in because people are somewhat nosy. But what happens is
But
they
we all go through
home
it.
and they're going through their own stuff. They have their own problems. They got their own bills. They got their own thing. So pretty soon, while they're peeking out their window looking at you, they got to turn around and look in the mirror and face their own life anyway.
Yeah.
And that quickly makes them forget, like, oh yeah, I was watching the reality show of Mike's life, and actually, it doesn't do me any good to see him fail. I actually like the fact that he's winning.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And you're going to fail far more than you succeed in life. Right. But if you can turn, if from a mental standpoint, if you can grasp that failures aren't the end or be all, it's
Yeah.
the learning experiences, right? Okay. What you could look back on something, okay, what didn't work, right? What
Mhm.
didn't, but it's that passion that's going to drive you through those failures, right?
Yes.
Like if you're not going to give up
Yep.
because you know, everybody, it's one of those Steve Harvey things he talks about.
Yeah.
Everybody has a turn back moment,
Yep.
right? Where you can push forward or you just turn back. Most people turn back, right?
yes.
If you're really following your passion and what you love, it's going to push through those hard times. And you always come through the hard times,
Yeah.
right? And it's one of those things that like, it's always easier to look back 5 years later.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't like that. So there was, when I was like in retail and I was looking to get out, I thought I had this job lined up that I thought was the perfect job. I thought I nailed it. Like I went on the first interview, the HR person was great. I went on with the regional manager. I'm like, this is my job. I was checked out for like a week.
That's hilarious.
I get home from work
Senior
one
item.
day. I work like super late.
Right.
I have a letter in the mail from them and I'm like, no. And it was a rejection letter.
Oh.
And in that moment, I was being super dramatic, right? Felt like the biggest failure of all time. Like, I'm going to be stuck here forever. I'm never going to be able to get out. 2-3 months later, I get this job at Hattie Larlin. And that was 2014. I look back now and I'm like, had I gotten that moment what I wanted so badly, how different would my life be? Right? I wouldn't know you. I damn sure wouldn't.
Interesting.
Sorry. I got
No,
to, sorry. I darn sure wouldn't
hang out, cook out, talk
be a
life.
small business owner.
Yeah.
Like there's people that I have in my life that's like family to me.
Yeah.
I would have never met
That's
had that journey
fascinating.
taken. But it's always easier to look back on that. I'm pulling this back together, people. We're not on a total.
No, that's no. I think that's a great.
It's always
point.
easier to look back 5 to 7 years later and be like, oh, than when you're going through it. In the
Yes.
moment. So one of the things that I've just learned over the years from trial and error in life and just getting older is when you're going through those storms, as hard as it is to step back and go, okay, 5 years from now, you're going to look back on this
Yeah.
and it's going to make sense,
Gonna make
right?
sense,
You're not
yeah.
in charge of the journey.
Yeah.
you're on your path.
Keep taking steps.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's, I don't want to get into anybody's beliefs
I
on
love that.
religion or when Mercury's in retrograde or whatever you believe in. But,
what it is. But
I don't want to overtramp anybody's
I don't want to mess up anybody's thing because it's all good.
I've learned enough in my life to know we're all on a journey, right? And you're on your own journey. And like what your journey is not my journey, right? So, but I've learned enough about, I went through 2021 through 23, and you're familiar with, my parents passing away and things. And those were the hardest 2 years of my life.
Man.
There was a lot in it.
And this was when, just for context, because some people out there may not know, because they've just always, you're Mike, you're in the community, you're at the coffee shops, you're smiling, you're cheering people on. I don't know very many people that are bigger fans of their friends and just everybody. You always want people to win. You don't, no jealousy. You're just like, it's amazing. Like there's never anything that ever felt like you're not cheering for.
It's just that perspective of we're on our own journey, right? And my journey is not your journey. And I don't understand the negative people that just live in negativity, right? Like, and each their own thing, right?
And you did it, but you stayed positive through losing your parents. Just so for people who don't know, how recent was that though? Because I lost my mom. That's why I started.
Yeah, so I lost my mom in September of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And both my parents were like here one moment, gone the next. I lost my dad Thanksgiving night 2023. So the crazy thing is the next day would have been 26 months to the day that they passed away from each other. So it was a little bit of that, okay, I felt this. And again, this is one of those things in your head, people had understood.
Yeah.
Publicly, I felt like I had to be the like, hey, everything's good, everything's positive, support people.
Me too.
But there was a lot of moments, in the private life that it was a struggle.
That's I appreciate you sharing
the one,
because I didn't even see that. I think we talked because I had lost my mom not a year before. You did, and we talked about those things, and my heart went out for you because once I knew that pain, every time somebody else, even to this day, loses a parent, I feel their pain. It often brings tears to my eyes, especially when I know them.
Because it's the two worst days of my life. You know, but it was a lot of those moments where it's like, okay. And there was just so much going on. Like when my mom passed, I started my own thing January, February 2021. She passed September. I was going through the struggle of like starting a new business, trying to do, and then that happening, and then trying to help my dad. And it was like there was so much going on that I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna get through this. I don't think I can get through it. And but it was a lot of those step back moments. Be like, okay, stop, stop. Look at the big picture. You're going to get through it, rely. And I learned a lot on, I've always been somebody that's like, just figure it out. That's not something you can go through alone. And the one thing about community and getting involved in community, and, I created a fake thing about hype man, like small business hype man, friend hype man. But it is about cheering people on because we're in this together, right? You and I talk about like, we're in the self-employment thing, doing two different things, but like we're in this together because we're all fighting the same battles. And I personally get so much about being around people that are going through the same things, right?
The same, and people don't often know it's the struggles of an entrepreneur.
You want people that feel your pain, that understand it, right?
And already this morning we were talking about some things. It's like there's so many good things going on in my business, my businesses and things, and there's so many days where I'm like, I know why people just get a job and just work. I don't. And there's nothing wrong with it.
100%.
Even as an entrepreneur, I now realize there is great value in having a job while being an entrepreneur, while you're building things, because a basis of income can relieve a lot of stress.
And like I said, everybody's journey is different, right? Everybody's passion, everybody's thing is different. Not everybody's thing is business.
Yes, that's a great point.
There are
you talk about passion.
There are people that want to be great parents, right? And have large families, right? That's your passion. That's awesome.
Yep.
Right. There are
just as valuable and maybe more important.
Listen, there are people that, their job just funds their lifestyle. Maybe their passion is cooking and but they don't want to do the full, one thing about 2020 is it opened up so many avenues for small business people, the 720 markets, how many people were selling like cocoa bombs on Facebook groups.
He said Coke. I was like selling cocoa bombs.
Okay, those? Like you drop them in, like, but it opens so many opportunities for people's creativity. But not everybody wants to go through that hustle. But some people just want to have the 9 to 5, but then they want to do their own thing. Maybe their thing is, sports. Maybe the thing is basketball, whatever it is. Like we all have our own thing to lean into, but
maybe
not
it's
everybody
coaching,
wants
and maybe
to
you have
do.
maybe you have a job and you coach your kids little league something.
Exactly.
And it's the most fulfilling. When my son was little, I coached his flag football team for a couple of years. It was the most rewarding thing I had ever done. Nothing else mattered. Work didn't matter.
I have a friend, Heather Craig, who's a teacher. She's in I'm drawing up, not it's not by Alliance, but it's not Alliance Schools. It starts with an M.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, sorry, Heather. I've drawn a blank, but she's been a teacher forever. And she started Love the Children Ministries, which is a nonprofit in the area. Back when she was in college, they do two things, right? They do a Christmas party where they get referrals from different agencies, and they get gift lists directly from the kids. So it's not just buying a bunch of coloring books, things like that. They actually get gifts that the kids ask for. And they bring a Santa and Mrs. Claus in, they do a big Christmas celebration. The kids get gifts, blah, blah, blah. And then they adopt a school, which they do Majutes. Yeah, I always pronounce it wrong. That's school she went to.
Okay, right.
They buy all the school supplies for the kids for that year. So when the kids show up, they've got all the schools. That's the only two things they do. And Heather says that's all we will ever do, right? Like I'm not trying to be
the two things?
So it's the Christmas party that they do where they bring about 250 kids in, and then they buy all the school supplies for
the school supply list. Those parents don't worry about.
Yep. They do donations at different coffee shops and things where you can either sponsor a whole kid, just drop off items. You could take a little ticket and then they buy the rest. And they do some fundraising stuff to help offset that. Yeah. But she doesn't want to launch a nonprofit and be in it 40 hours a week. She doesn't. Yeah. She has a daughter. She's married. That's her life. She loves being a teacher. But her passion is helping underserved youth. But her passion's not to do it full time, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. They stay in their lane. They do a great thing with what they do. They work with other organizations. That's okay, right? Like her passion is teaching kids, her family, her faith, that kind of stuff. Like, I have a friend, Chad, who I worked with at Hetty Larlam, and his thing is his church. He's very active in it. So his job is like his Monday through Friday, right? Which funds his livelihood, and his mortgage and things. But then he can then do this on his free time where he doesn't have to be paid and things. Like again, that's okay. That's what his gift and his passion is. Like not everybody wants to be in the crazy business owning circuit like you and I, where we complain all the time about what we're going through, but we do it anyway. Made us do it. Yeah. You each have your own paths, But going back to talking about that time that I was going through. The one thing that I was very thankful for is all that time I spent getting to know people is when it was my turn to need help. There was almost so many people there that I was like, guys, like, I appreciate this, but I need y'all to leave me alone for a couple of days. You know what I mean? But I never felt alone. And I was so thankful for that. Yeah. And the support that I had during those times, because I learned like, okay, this is the thing you can't do alone. Yeah. Like, I'd wake up at 5 a.m. having a panic attack. Like, and what do you do in that moment? Right. I knew there was people I could call that would answer the phone.
I see
and
somebody
just talk about it.
I see somebody here in the chat. You may have been able
kick
to
him
call.
out.
Oh, kick him!
James Fye. He's on vacation. What are you doing, Jim? You're on vacation. What you doing tuning in?
Right.
Jimmy's one of them. Listen, man, you talk about good people. He's been on your show.
Yes, absolutely.
You interviewed him about his. I'm sure he'll be okay with it because it's out there. But he went through addiction things.
Man, what a great.
And now he works in addiction recovery for AVO behavioral health.
Right? So he took something he's passionate about, something he cares about, something he knows well.
And he's doing it.
And he's doing his thing.
I'll tell you this, a story about Jimmy Fye, man. And you talk about your people, right? The night my dad died was Thanksgiving night. We did an early dinner. It was just him and I. My brother my brother's down here. I have a half brother. He's a little older, but he lives down here now. By the time he lived in Michigan for his job. So, my dad was having some like back issues. I found out later he had a kidney thing that he just wasn't taking care of that he didn't want to tell anybody about. I think without my mom, my dad just struggled. I think when he found out that, hey, this was happening, I think, he made that decision. There's a lot that goes into it, but we didn't find out about it until after, he had passed. But he was having some back issues, which now I know was his kidneys, but he always had a reason for it, right? Which is wild because my dad wasn't that slick. But he always had a reason. He fell, he got hurt at work, but the worse it was getting, I think he knew the closer it was. But we I went over on Thanksgiving Day. He decided like, let's go out to dinner somewhere. So we went to Mulligan's because we found out Mulligan's has, open Thanksgiving, whatever. We made reservations for an earlier dinner. When I got there, he was, his back was really bothering him and he was very winded, like even like walking across the living room. And I was like, okay, I've like pulled a back muscle before, I know now it was just his kidneys failing him. But at the time I thought, oh, we've all pulled a back muscle and it's like, oh, I can't breathe when I'm sitting in the car. I thought it was that. We had a heart attack in the car on the way home. Wow. And, you're in that moment, you're freaking out.
Rewind this back. You're in the car.
Yeah.
With your dad.
Yeah.
Just leaving Mulligan's.
He's driving.
Wow.
He has a heart attack.
Wow.
So my dad lived off Cleveland Avenue, where the post office is at, right by 30th. He kind of lived like in one of the streets over there. So we were coming down Cleveland and he's driving. He's like, man, I'm having trouble breathing again. And I'm like, okay, well, like sitting here? Like, is it your position? You're like, because I understand like you're moving around, whatever. Right. And he's like, yeah, I don't know. And then it went from like, okay, I caught my breath to like, I can't breathe. So I'm like, okay, pull the car over. Right. So we pulled over on the side of the road, like side street off Cleveland. And he had a heart attack right there.
Did you know to call 911 immediately?
I did. Yeah. I called 911 and that's when I knew because my dad was very much like, oh, leave me alone. I'm going to be fine. And I was like, I'm going to call 911. He's like, I'm okay. And I called 911. He's like, okay, I think you should. And that's when I knew something was wrong. So they got there super quick. There's a fire department down in Cleveland. So there was I hope this isn't too weird for people watching, but trying to sell Jimmy the great guy, but they're giving my dad CPR on the side of the road.
Okay.
I call my brother. He's like, I'm on the way. I'm like, you live like 4.5 hours away. Like I just call. Like, I don't know. Like, and he's like, well, I'm on the way. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll see you like in half a work day, but okay.
Right.
And in that moment, like, and again, I don't know what the intuition is, but in both these moments, something popped in my head, call this person. For some reason, it popped in my head, 6:00, Thanksgiving night. This is all going on. Call Jimmy. So I do. And Jimmy and I message each other all the time. We send each other.
You're still on the side of the road.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. This is all happening. This is all happening. And I call Jimmy and I don't know why. He just sits down for Thanksgiving dinner and we don't call each other a ton. Like we text and we message. So I think I don't know. He answers and I'm freaking out. Like I don't remember a lot of this. Wow. He's like, what's going on? This is happening. And he's like, all right, I'm on the way. And I'm like, well, no, it's Thanksgiving. Like, I don't know why I called you.
Yeah.
He's like, nope, I'm on the way. So he's dinner with his family. He leaves. He shows to my dad's house. He takes me to the hospital. He sits in the hospital with me. He stayed with me until, my dad passed away at the hospital. I'm waiting for he stayed with me at my dad's house till like 11 o'clock. I think his Thanksgiving dinner in 2023 was a protein bar I didn't eat. But he was there, man.
What a guy.
And he is. And I give him all the credit. And it's like, when you find some people in your life that are down with you like that, man. Like you don't get a lot of those people that are like really have your back like that. Jimmy's one of those people that do. And I love the guy to death. So I joke about kicking him out of the chat because he's a really good dude, but he's one of those people that you meet in life that you're always thankful for, right? We always joke, everybody needs a Jimmy, right? Lamar Sharp started that because Jimmy was very active and be a better man. Everybody needs a Jimmy. So Jimmy, I love you, buddy.
Shout out.
But you find that people like that in your life.
When friends become family.
It's true. And that's one of those people that you go back to like, man, had I gotten that job I wanted, that's somebody that wouldn't be in my life now. And so again, we're going off on tangents, but
no.
When you're going through those hard times, man, it's
awesome.
It's hard to stop and put that into perspective, but you have to.
So tell me this, and shout out to our guys. Shout out to Jimmy. Shout out to James Phi for being such a good friend.
I just put you on the spot, Jimmy. I apologize, but
hey, what a great guy. I mean, just a genuine person. I think I probably met him through you, and just by the second time you see him, he's coming up to you like old friends. He's coming up to you. You feel like he's running to you, about to
very
give you a
much.
hug.
Once you know Jimmy, you know Jimmy. Like he's great.
What a great guy. He said, back at you any day, anywhere you call, I'll be there.
I know, and it's true.
That's big.
It's true.
That's big. Yeah. And we need people like that in our lives because life is challenging. And I think
It's a nonstop test, man. You're always going to be tested no matter what.
it's funny. I was having this conversation. I was arguing with God the other day, and I was feeling tested
win?
more. No,
I didn't think so.
I lost. I lost that one. But I'm gonna get it on the next one. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what happens. I was like, I just felt like it was one test after another recently, and I felt like I was passing the test. Though I'm like, okay, that thing was there to tempt me to go make a choice for money. I didn't make that choice.
Isn't it crazy how that happens? I have a lot of the same stories.
And I'm looking at him like,
it's making sure that you're
I did
doing
the
it
right
the
thing.
right way.
I did the honest thing. I did the, whatever. Like, and I'm not perfect in life. I'm not batting 1,000, but I'm like, God, I really try. And I'm, regretful, like, I change when I make a mistake. So when I look back, I'm like, man, I messed that up. That was wrong. I apologize to people. I do think so. Like that one test after another sometimes in life, it seems overwhelming. The interesting thing about it though is it's like refining.
Yeah.
It's like the pencil and the pencil sharpener. The pencil must be like, leave me alone. I'm doing something that people probably, I must be definitely dating myself. We used to sharpen pencils
I remember.
like this.
You had to clean erasers in the little suction cup thing.
Yes, exactly. At school, yes. I was in Clarendon.
I don't know what you called that thing. There was like a
thing in the wall.
That was, and you could clean erasers.
Man, that was the honor of the
we really dated ourselves. We really dated ourselves. Those probably don't exist anymore.
Chalkboard? No, it doesn't. They don't have dry eraser boards. They have smart boards. Anyway, I'm going to a school. Shout out to Beacon Academy. I'm heading to Beacon Academy after this. Shout out to the schools we work with. But yeah, so sometimes feeling tested, one test after another. It's so important to have good people around you.
I agree.
And it's important to be able to open up. Because you and I talked about some things this morning. I have other guys in my life. Some guys I talk to about, fitness. Some people are business. Some people it's faith. Some people it's some combination of all those things. But I'm very transparent. And I think a lot of times as men, we're not. And every man is walking up like, let's measure success. Hey, what are you into? And you got to be like, oh, I just landed this thing. What are you into? I just bought this thing. I just did this thing. And
like, everybody's so full of it.
Man, it's like for real.
We're all going through our own struggles.
I'm dealing with some stuff.
You're right, though.
It out. I'm grateful. I'm blessed. Life's good. And there's challenges every day.
But the challenges are what make you better.
Yes.
Right. But you become, this is something that I talk about. Another person I shout out. Actually, during that time, I met my girlfriend, Nicole, right around when my dad passed. So it was just such crazy timing about how things worked. Wow. But she has a daughter, 16-year-old named Reagan, who I adore. She's like my daughter.
Yes.
The amount of times that we have told her over the years, like, you are a product of the people that you surround yourself with. It doesn't matter how successful you are, how mentally strong you are, you will become a product of the people you surround yourself with. So we talk about like getting together and just having these conversations. Like I get so much out of it because I enjoy being around people that are going through the same things as I am, like from a career standpoint, and we can brainstorm like, what problem do you have? What there might be a problem you're having that I can help you with. The next time I'm like, Lucas, I'm stuck on something. But you become a product of the people you surround yourself with. If you surround yourself with a lot of negative people who just want to tear people down and hate the world, you're going to be a negative person.
Yes.
If you surround yourself with positive people that are hustling and grinding, you're going to hustle and grind. Like you become a product of your surroundings. So you always have to be refining, like, who are the people around me and what are they bringing?
Yes.
And it's okay to like layer people, right? There's people that I will be nice to everybody. That's my goal. Like it doesn't, I try not to hold grudges. There's some times that I have to let go. Sometimes we're all human.
Right.
But there might be times that I'm like, hey, I see what that person's doing. I see what they put on social media, whatever. If I see in person, I'll be nice to you.
Right.
Am I going to hang out and do a podcast interview with you? Nope. And that's okay.
Right.
Again, everybody's on their own path, their own journey. They got to figure their own stuff out. Absolutely. But you become a product of the people you surround yourself with. And if you can figure that out and surround yourself with the people that you want to have a common future with.
Yeah.
Like if people technically look at us, we're technically competition.
Right. Right.
Even though neither one of us really, we do different things, but we're in marketing for small businesses, right?
Yes.
So I guess some people
don't mind my lights going out,
We're looking at you guys again. We're looking at you guys again. I wasn't going to call them out, but
Stark County Minority Business Association, you guys become members, and then the more members they have, the more light switches they'll put it down. Just kidding.
But if you're technically just looking at straight business, right? We both try to find small businesses to promote that pay us. And so we should be competition. But we're not.
You know what's so
because
funny?
We thrive at different things. I've actually hired you for something last year because I couldn't get to. I brought you into nonprofit things, but I literally hired him and Danielle last year to do some reels for me because I couldn't get to it.
And that was, and here's the crazy part. When you really have genuine friendships, it doesn't matter what's going on or what you do, you never feel in competition. I would call you and be like, I always ask you,
there's
I'm
enough
like, do
business
you
to go
do
around for
social media?
everybody.
Do you do this? I would literally, I was pitching you to clients without even being 100% sure that you did this thing.
Right.
But I'm like, if
Right.
I get
Well,
this,
same. Like
I'm gonna
we
call
started
Mike
prom, and I'm like,
Mike,
we got to
can you
bring
do it?
Lucas in, or hey, Lucas, I'm stuck on this. I can't go. Like, what would you charge me to do it?
Right.
And you gave me a great deal, thankfully.
Yeah.
But there's enough business to go around.
There's enough
right?
for everybody.
And again, it goes down to the same thing. And this was the best advice I was given when I was starting my own company.
Yeah.
Somebody's like, because I was going the first year, man, even being super connected, even being super, it's still, it was even more than I thought, and I knew it was going to be a lot.
Right.
And a person who's very successful in their career, who's done it for many years, like you're chasing money. I'm like, well, I got rent to pay.
Right.
So you got to stop chasing money. Like if you follow your passion and you follow your gift, you do it the right way, the money will line up. And I'm like, that sounds good when you're paying your bills.
Yes.
You know, not running a bunch of debt, but it's so true.
So say it one more time, because I think that's so profound, and I think a lot of people need to hear that. There's a lot of people out there who are working and have entrepreneurial passions, and we're heading toward the end of our time here. I mean, this
we need a part 2 to actually get to what we were going to talk about, but it's okay.
Wow, that was so
we got
easy,
deep
so
with it.
fast. But say that again. There's people out there who have entrepreneurial or passions, and whether they want to put a business around it or not, and they're struggling because one, they're like, I can't figure out how to make money, we got to make money. So there's a business acumen that you need to make money.
When I say that, there's a baseline of like income you need. So that's again, I was telling him, I'm like, well, you're saying that when you're well above the baseline, but
his advice was what?
We're talking bigger picture, right? When you look back on it, if you discover what you're gifted, we're calling it a gift, but whatever it might be, the thing you do better than anybody else, like that comes naturally. If you discover what that is, and you really lean into it and you do things the right way, right? You're not trying to undercut people. You're not trying to take the short way. You're not trying to, like we say, like, hey, we bounce ideas off each other. We share things that are going on. I take ideas from things you do. You take things I do. Like if you do things the right way, I don't know how to explain it, but it lines up, right? Like there was some times that I'm like, man, I got to like figure out some structure. I need to pick some things up to change some things around. But all last year I was trying to do this, and I'm like, it's going to work out because if I do things the right way and at the right times, like somebody just comes back, hey, I was in this meeting and your name came up and it led to a contract, or, you know, then all of a sudden we talked about Todd Moser coming to me and being like, hey, I have this thing that I might bring you on. Like it just fell into place. Right. And my girlfriend jokes, she's like, man, everything you do just falls into place. It's like, well, it doesn't feel like you were going through it, but in the end, when you look back, yes, but it's because I really have seen that in so many times, so many people. If you follow your passion, you do things the right way. And it's tough because you see people sometimes, and again, I'm not judging people's path, but not everybody goes to do things the right way. There's a lot of people I've encountered in my career that will undercut people and blah, blah, and you see them being successful and you're like, I hate that, right? You want to hate it, but everything, I guess people live in the short term, right? What you see going in the short term, you got to keep your eye on the long-term game, right? Because things always balance themselves in the universe and work themselves out. And you might not be finding the success in the short term, but you're going to find it in the long term, right? The people who might have the negative, might undercut people, might sell their own grandma to get ahead. They'll find the success in the short term, but in the long term, they're not going to. And everything's a long-term game. You've always got to be looking at it, like, and it's hard. Like it's hard to say, okay, I'm going through this right now, but I need to have my eye on where I'm going to be 5 years from now. Right. Like you talked about, like you just started this in 2020. Yeah. You had your eye on where you were going to be in 2026. Right. You got to keep that focus on like, okay, I'm going through the struggle now, but it's, you're building the foundation, right? You can't build the skyscraper without the foundation. Absolutely. So when you're going through those tests and you're going through those consistent 1 step forward, 2 step back moments, you're building your foundation, right? And if you want to build long-term success, you got to build the foundation. And it's hard, but that's where you rely on the people around you. That
pull you up
twice a year. I go through times where I'm like, screw this. I'm going to get a job. I'm going to have Monday through Friday vacation. I'm not doing anything. I'm never going to actually do it. But those moments where I can reach out to you or somebody, a mentor, and I still have great mentors. And I'm like, I'm done with this. And they're like, no, you're not. Stop.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm being dramatic.
I know,
But
right. Today was a tough day.
no matter, and I know people that have been super successful in business for 20 years that are like, I go through that twice a year.
Yeah.
It's a never, you think you get to a point and then you have a step back. Or like we talked about, like, I'm very thankful that I'm at the point now where I'm not worried about paying bills every month. Like, because 6 years into this, I've been able to build that foundation.
Right.
But I'm in the tough spot now where it's like, okay, I really need help. I wish I could hire somebody, but I'm not there yet.
Right.
I don't know how to get there because how do I take on, I can barely, like, I take on 5 more clients. Like, what do I do? Right? Like, I'm juggling everything I have now efficiently, but I'm like, how am I going to get there? I have no clue I'm going to get there, but I know I'm going to.
You're going to get there.
Right? I know I'm going to figure it out. I know I'm going to keep moving the pieces around. I know I'm going to figure it out. But your journey never stops, right? Because when you get complacent, that's when things fall apart. You always have to be building, pushing ahead.
And keep taking
We're both
one
in that
step.
spot now. We had a whole conversation before we went on air about we're both in the same spot. I'm like, we got to get there and talk again.
I know
we're gonna get through this together.
One
but
step after another, and
your journey never stops. Well, when it does stop, I mean,
that's what
you're being called somewhere.
I know,
so as long as you're waking up the
like
next
that one
day,
friend
your
of yours
journey
who you
doesn't
tried
stop.
to off earlier. You're like, she's not with us anymore.
I hope sorry, Christy.
Right.
Again, Christy Williams is still with us. Just does not live here.
I heard she was gone.
Yeah, just does not live here anymore.
Okay, good.
But she is still present.
She's still present in the world. Okay.
In the world, yeah, she's still kicking.
Yes, Mike, I appreciate you so much for coming on the show. Again,
thank you for having me. I love it.
It's my pleasure.
I hope somebody got something out of our rambling.
I can't wait to cut the clips because you said so many things that were just so good. It's funny because I was sitting here listening to you talk, and I'm like, I watch podcast clips of people saying these things. And maybe those people are now famous or something, and maybe they get more views because they're well known. But that same type of motivation is those same words is what's getting people through so many difficult things. So
it's just relying on, like, listen, like, everybody has gone through what you're going through, no matter what it is. If you lost your job, right? I was laid off during 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I had that moment where it was like, man, I had worked so hard for so many years and now I have nothing. Well, and I knew in the moment, like, I'm dramatic sometimes. I own it. And I knew in that moment, like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But again, had I not got laid off, I would have started my own thing, right? So it's like that journey of, like, I had to be pushed. But everybody has lost parents. Not everybody, but people have gone through it. People have lost their jobs. No matter what tough thing you're going through, other people have been there and done that. So if you can swallow the pride and say, okay, let me reach out to somebody and ask for help or pick a break or whatever.
Right.
People will be there for you because they've gone through the same thing. Absolutely. It's hard to reach out and ask for that, and you feel like you're weak or you feel like you're thing, but it's okay to reach out to people and say, hey, I'm stuck in a part of my business. Hey, I'm going through a hard time. How did you get through this hard time? You know, if anybody ever reached out and said, hey, like, I just lost my mom, I'm going through a hard time, would you want to talk? I will talk to you for hours about it and what happened.
Sure
I don't know if, work for me would work for you, but I'd be there because I know what that was like.
Yes.
And I know that people were there for me. So in your career, there are people that mentored me, that helped me. So if a younger professional or somebody reach out and has a question, I'll never say no. I'll get that coffee meeting. I'll try to help as much as I can. It doesn't matter if we'd be considered competition or not.
Yeah.
Like, we're all in the same battle together. Yep. There's enough business to go around.
For everybody to win.
There's enough for everybody to win. Yep. Right. We all can only do so much stuff. Like, it's great.
I love it. Mike, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for checking us out here on another episode of Lucas Live. I got to have Mike back because we could talk like this all the time. And I know there were some insightful things that you guys got from it. Mike, thank you for being everybody's cheerleader.
I try. I'm your cheerleader too. Reach out to me.
All right. Reach out to him if you want to meet him in a coffee shop, learn some things. Real quick, before we land this plane, real quick, for people who want or need your services and may not know what you do, if you could give us in a minute or less, what is it that you do? What does Rock Island do? And how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, I really enjoy supporting super small businesses. So mom and pop style businesses, whatever it is. Jim and I work on a thing called Stark Flavor together. We do some passports. We just had a coffee crawl that had 14 locally owned shops. So no chains, no franchises. We have an ice cream one coming, some other stuff this summer. But I really love working with the small business owners at Us on Grinding. So we help with some digital marketing, like cheap to free. It's just the grind of, like, continuous posting and groups and things like that. Connections, getting you in the community, building that foundation is kind of what we specialize in.
Yeah, I love it.
Yes.
Wow, that was you actually. I think you give people a minute, and you're like, "There's no way they're going to do it in a minute." And he did it in a minute. That was awesome. I was like,
I don't know if I did it well, but I tried.
That's great. That's great. Small businesses who are looking for marketing support, reach out.
Yeah.
There's
a ton. Rock Island Growth Specialist. Yeah, or you can just email me, Mike at rockislandgrowth.com. You know, I found there's so many marketing companies that work with those large businesses that can afford $2,000-$3,000 a month. There's not many things out there for people that might be able to afford $300 a month. Yeah. Right. And so I've been able to carve out a little path where, you know, I could be profitable with that. And it's a long game, right? But of helping small businesses grow and bringing people and things like that we call it the balling on a budget. You know, you can ball on a budget and start get your brand out there and your word out there. We help with that as much as we can.
Well, listen, I love that you're doing it. We talked a little bit earlier about AI, and
I'm behind on that.
You're a little behind. There's some tools now that can help you do that at an even higher level. I have to show you. I'm not even a website guy, but I've built my own website. I built an app that you were able to book your.
Yeah, and it was seamless. I was like, it was great.
You were the first person actually that you booked. You signed the podcast.
I signed off. It was great to use.
So I get to use this wherever. Yes. Maybe playing on the screen out there later in Centennial Plaza. But thanks again, Mike. Thank you so much for being my guest. I appreciate it.
It's always great to see you, my friend.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for being here on another episode of Lucas Live. I want to thank you guys. Shout out to Aunt Lane. I see you here today. Aunt Gloria, thank you guys so much for being here. Todd, I'll have to meet you, my friend. Looking forward to it. To everybody else who's leaning in, listening in, watching live or by replay, we thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys on another episode. See you tomorrow. Danny Williams, your host, Danny, will be here with us. We'll see you tomorrow on Lucas Live. Have a good day, everybody.